You've got to come out sometime, Max, and when you do, we'll see how willing you are to stick your nose where it doesn't belong then. No, officer, there's no problem here. Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Aussie Villain Racing. It is a Singapore Grand Prix today. I am completely over what Max Verstappen did to us in Russia last time out, and hopefully today, well, Russia, it's not Russia anymore, it's Singapore, isn't it? And that track is not one that necessarily agrees with me. Let's have a look and see what we can do here. We have 2 days, we can do something. G-Force training for Schwartzman, driver promo, I don't want to do promo work, and we've got a sponsor event. I think we keep investing, don't we? We keep investing in Schwartzman, and hopefully he will continue to score points for us. We have a very, very tight battle going with AlphaTauri in the championship this season, so we want to keep the pressure on them. Now, I don't think we're going to upgrade anything else. I think we want to save our money. We've got $4 million in the bank. We want to save it, I think, for off-season and see if maybe the driver market comes our way a little bit, and if not, we can sort of binge spend. Is my plan at the end of the season. In terms of R&D, again, we know that there is regulation changes coming for next season. We do have a couple of things in the pipeline. I think we save the rest, and hopefully we've got some upgrades there that have been unlocked. But hopefully we can then keep what we have, and then again we can sort of binge spend if we need to. But that's sort of my plan, and I think it makes sense to do. We don't, until we at least know what the regulation changes are going to be. I don't really see a sense in sort of getting upgrades. Only we might potentially just lose them again at the end of the season. So I think we need to wait until we know what's happening for next season, and then we can look to start and spend, whether that be for this season or for next season. So I think that's what we will do, even if it does maybe cost us a little bit for this season. If we go and have a look at the vehicle now, we don't have any engine parts that are particularly worn. I'm thinking, knowing my efforts around Singapore, just these sort of tight, twisty street circuits as I do, I'm thinking what we might look to do is maybe take some engine penalties this weekend. We'll see how qualifying goes and if we're looking good for anything that resembles points. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. You can see the driver market doesn't really affect us just yet. Finances, we haven't spent anything, so they are looking good. And you can see there our Alps are on the way back up again. And a reminder of the standings, we are ahead of Gasly in P9 in the championship. That's as good as we can get. We're not going to catch Sainz, so we can hang on to that. It'll be good. Schwartzman's there, has chipped in with 8 points, and we are 1 point ahead of AlphaTauri over the course of the season. And that is our battle now. That is where we need to try, and obviously there'll be more money for us if we get P5 as opposed to P6. Trophies now, of course, last year in Singapore we came 17th. So I suppose if we can improve on that, that'll be a good thing. Lance Stroll is our rival, and if we can break even on that rivalry this weekend, I'll be quite happy. And the driver details, our average finishing position has moved up to 12th after our efforts in Russia, which is must have been just tinkering on the edge of going to 12th anyway, because I think we finished 9th, didn't we? So it wasn't as though we had a storming finish there. But let's sim ahead. There's only a week, so hopefully not enough time for anything to go wrong. So the new parts are on the car. Let's head off to a very sweaty Singapore. Alright, so the weekend preview, we can see the track map there if you're unfamiliar with the Singapore layout. Oh, Jesus. No, it's actually not that bad. It's okay, look at the percentages. It's going to be a wet quali, it looks like, but the race should be fine. Dry conditions on track. So that is, I'm not sure why it's showing it as rain percentage, but then qualifying might be wet, which might just confirm the fact that we need engine penalties this weekend. I'm going to go and do free practice, try not to crash the car, and I will see you for qualifying 1. Alright, free practice is done. We are not racing for points. We are racing the Haas's and the Williams. Schwartzman is up there around the top 10. I, on the other hand, am at least a second off Schwartzman's time. I have not, I don't know if it's a setup, if it's me, it's probably both. It's probably just me. Let's head into qualifying. I expect this will be Q1 and out for us. Alright, here we go. With rain expected, we are straight out. See if we can maybe sneak into Q2. Though, to be honest, I don't even know if I want to sneak into Q2. I think we'd be better off just the back. We'll get in everybody's way otherwise. Already not great. I think I've seen a little bit of rain on the visor as well. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I just cannot seem to get into the flow of it this time around. But you never know, maybe we can do some...
Are you okay?
Well, that was short and sweet, wasn't it? The good news is that we can take some engine penalties. So, yeah. Stroll went out, so there you go. That's something. At least our rival's back there. Maybe we can beat him. Schwartzman didn't do very well either, did he? Alright, I'll see you for the race.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, Daniel Ricciardo, and Leclerc, Sainz, Schwartzman, Tsunoda, and George Russell, Bottas, Giovinazzi, Mick Schumacher, and Latifi, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Lance Stroll, and Kimi Raikkonen. Vettel, they've taken a grid penalty. Gasly, Mazepin, and Oldtimer. That's it then, it's time to go racing, as we head to trackside for today's race.
So, Robert Schwartzman planted inside the top 10. Go on, Robbie. It's all on him today. We have taken massive, we've taken engine panels, we've taken one of everything. And so that is how that is going to be. Tyre wear is an absolute nightmare. I think we are going to do this reverse strategy and come out at the end on some soft tyres and see if we can do some damage if we're still even running at that point, to be completely honest. Let's maybe come in a lap sooner. Maybe we'll be able to get an undercut on some people. And, yeah, let's see if we can make it past. What do we get to? The third turn? All right, here we go for the Singapore Grand Prix. No great expectations for this one, but let's see what we can do. Go, start. Oh, Jesus Christ. What? Yeah, well, sums up the weekend, doesn't it? Perfect. Just the sort of start we wanted. No idea what happened. I forgot to release the clutch, apparently. But, oh, there we go around the outside, trying to make up a little bit of space. Now, it looks like a lot of those around us are on the soft tyre, apart from Mazepin. We're already past him. Up the inside of a couple of the Aston Martins, but no real room there to get that move done. And so we slide into 21st place. We've made up a position, despite the start, which is probably the most shocking thing of everything, isn't it? Let's see what we can do now. There is definitely a train of cars developing. Can we shoot up the inside? Let's cut into the traffic. And can we stay out of Kimi Raikkonen's side? We can. And that is us ahead of both Aston Martins, including, of course, Lance Stroll, who is our on-track rival. And well, if we can beat him, that would be a massive, massive bonus. A little bit deep. Oh, I'm really not good at this track. I don't know what it is. I just have not clicked with it. It just feels like... well, it just feels like I don't know what I'm doing. Which, to be fair, I probably don't. There's the old-fashioned tank slapper out of the hairpin. Love to see that. Good to see it back for Season 2. And Stroll up the inside. Not today, Lance. Operation keep Stroll behind. Yeah, that is very much what this race is shaping into, isn't it? Just keep Stroll behind us and get those on-track rivalry points. He is all over the back of us. The rest of the field is driving away, albeit on soft tyres, so let's remember that. But we don't know who is at the front of that queue. It was a bit of a mixed-up grid, wasn't it? The wet qualifying. Look how far Hamilton is ahead after one lap. The wet qualifying that everybody else did, of course, we decided not to take part voluntarily. This race, it did mix up the grid, so we can see there that we've got George Russell and a Williams up in 9th. Potential Latifi and Mick Schumacher were quite high up there as well, weren't they? So I think if we're looking for a block in the traffic, it's probably one of them. But let's see what we can do down the back straight here. We don't have too long of a straight, do we, to sort of take advantage, let's say, of our engine. Purple first sector, go on. Yeah, so that is not ideal. Try not to run up the back of Kimi. Try not to lose the front wing on the wall. That was very, very close. Stroll is still behind us. Again, a little bit of a tank slapper of the corner, but that's just half of the course, isn't it? I did change the setup in free practice 3 just to try and help me. I didn't know. I was just at a loss. I always think, are we going to get a tank slapper? Don't go up there, Lance. You'll take us both out. Yeah, just to try and figure out what was wrong. And I think I may have come across something to make it a little bit better for me. But unfortunately, well, as we saw in qualifying, I didn't really get a chance to test it out, so not ideal. But obviously we're still getting some tank slappers and yeah, maybe a little bit of a lack of grip. It looks as though, or certainly felt as though they were struggling on turning. Now, whether that is down to the medium tyre, again, we didn't get a chance to check for damage as we run very close to some walls. Yeah, I don't know if...
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, I don't know if that is, as I say, set up. So I just need to sort of play around with the front end a little bit. The issue I was having a lot in free practice was just losing the rear. And I just don't quite know why that was. Now, we might have a slight chance at Kimi Räikkönen here at the end of the straight. Another purple first sector. We're rapid in the first sector. We slice up the inside of Kimi. And that is P18. And we're keeping up with the traffic, which is...
Nice move.
Thank you,
Good
Jeff.
job.
Which is, yes, not something we have typically been able to do in these sorts of tracks before. But yeah, I do think I made progress on the setup, and I think that we're sort of showing that here. It's a shame about qualifying, whether we would have done any better. It always makes me nervous, that corner. Are we going to get the tank? Oh, there it is. That's a good one too. Well done. That's actually given Kimi Räikkönen quite the chance up the inside, but he ducks back in. We are quick in a straight line, so would be... Oh, another tank slapper. Definitely think we need to still work on the rear of the car, don't we? It's not the finished product just yet. But I think what we're showing... Oh, we've got Gus on code comms, if you can hear that. I mean, Schwartzman up there in 8th. The car is definitely taking a step forward this second half of the season. We can tell that from Schwartzman's performances, if nothing else. Again, you can see change of direction there. It's just the car's just not quite where we'd want it. But yeah, we're
trailing our teammate by 7.1 seconds.
So we're 7 seconds out of what was Schwartzman 8th place. So it's not terrible. Now, are we going to be able to make that up in what 11 laps that are left? Maybe. Maybe we've got the soft tyres to come, of course, at the end. And let's see what we can do. We're behind Ocon as we come onto the backstretch this time. And, oh, we're right there with him. Up the inside. We should have this done. And this is looking as though it's a very deep on the brakes. Ocon comes back. Now, can we still have the high line there? We do. And that will complete the move. So it looks as though we've got a place on the track that we can overtake cars where we seem to have the overspeed in that first sector. Now, the rest of the lap, maybe not so much. But we are kind of hanging on, aren't we? We're not losing ground. Now, some of this is going to be actually me getting some continuous laps around the track, which we didn't get in qualifying. And, yeah, so that's going to help. Can we get another tank slapper? Oh, that was a shockingly decent exit, actually, wasn't it? And probably needed, because Ocon was quite close to us. So next up is Pierre Gasly. Now, of course, he drives an AlphaTauri, and AlphaTauri is who we very much want to beat, because that's who we're battling for 5th place in the Constructors with. Now, at 16th and 17th, we're unlikely to be scoring points, either of us, this race. But it is Singapore, and you never know. You get a bit of a pile up in front of us, and maybe, maybe there could be something happen late on. A safety car could come out, and, we could get a cheap pit stop. So, you just never know. We're trying to stay, we're just using a bit of battery power there, you may have noticed, trying to stay within the second to get the DRS. We have dropped out of that range, though, have we? I don't think we're on DRS. There is DRS on that front straight, isn't there? Maybe there's not. As we jump back off board, you can see we're so quick through the first sector. Look at how much space we've made up there on Gasly in just a couple of corners in the front straight. Now, can we get a move done again down this back straight? DRS is open. And we're lining him up, and up the inside we go. It is just about done. Just help him out onto the curb to affect his acceleration, and it's another move, and that is, where are we now? P16, nosebleed stuff in Singapore. We finished 17th, didn't we, last season? Now that was going to be helped by a retirement or two, usually. And we've got Alonso, and then Mick Schumacher, and then Latifi, and then that looks another purple first sector. And that look, I mean, that's going to be DRS helped. Whoa! As we almost almost hit the back of Alonso. Let's have another look at this. It felt very, very close indeed. Oh dear, Gasly sticking his nose up, and oh, contact. Alright, well, I didn't feel that. And that could have ended badly. It could have turned straight across Gasly and taken us both out. Now Gasly's dropped off a little bit. Looks like Ocon has got past him. Has he maybe damaged his front wing? And perhaps more importantly, has he damaged our car? Was that tyre to tyre?
The side pods have taken damage. Keep an eye on your engine temperature. Cooling may be adversely affected. There's been an incident on track, but officials aren't looking to push for a safety car right now. Just be careful.
That possibly, we would have loved the safety car there to get a cheap stop. That possibly answers our question, doesn't it? There was a bit of damage. It was to the side pods. And I don't know what this is going to mean for the race. It doesn't look too bad, does it, there on the display? So hopefully, as Alonso and Mick Schumacher go side by side, and let's see what we can do here. We go straight through the middle of them. DRS open on the battery, and that is 2 for 1.
See you, boys.
That is surely overtake of the season. Look at this outboard. The sea just parted for us, and straight through the middle we go. And that is, well, with pit stops being made, that is P9. Next victim is Latifi in a Williams, who should be relatively low-hanging fruit, shouldn't he, really? And with soft tyres to come, I'm suddenly really enjoying the Singapore Grand Prix. Let's see if we can hold off. This is, of course, the part of the track very, very wide. Getting a bit excited, I think. No way around there from Mick Schumacher. And let's see if we can take the hairpin successfully again. We can. Oh, there's a good tank slapper for you. Look at that.
You've taken damage to the side pods. Expect to feel a little drag.
Thank you, Jeff. I think we've got a little bit of wheel spin out of the right. That's the side pods that's causing that those tank slappers, I think. But now, I don't know if that means the damage has got worse, or if Jeff is just reminding me that there was damage. But either way, we're sitting up there in P9. Now, what we can't see is everybody in front of us, what tyres they're on. Another bit of a tank slapper there. I am starting to feel a little bit of loss of downforce. I'm assuming from the side pod. The tyres, of course, aging as well, which won't help. But you can see there the tyres aren't that bad. We've got what? We're up to P5 now. Latifi in front of us on mediums. Giovinazzi on the soft, so he's going to go to a medium tyre. He's only 4 seconds up the road, which is a lot. But if he's going onto a medium tyre, we're going onto a soft, this could be on.
Okay, looks like a mechanical failure. We're going to have to ask you to find a safe spot to retire. Sorry about that.
Well, it's not on. And that is massively disappointing. The new engine as well.
Oh, but Jeff, I was having so much fun. That's my brand new engine as well.
And thus ends the Singapore Grand Prix. What a disappointing end to the race. Go on, Robert. Bring home points for the teammate. Beat down Ferrari.
Our winning drivers are on their way to the podium right now. It's been a fantastic race for McLaren, that's for sure, and no doubt they'll be celebrating tonight.
Oh, I was having so much fun. I was really enjoying Singapore for once, and it got taken away. And I think that's our new engine as well, so hopefully it's not terminal. But look at Robert Schwartzman, did the team proud up there in 8th. And you've got to say, what about the move on Alonso and Mick Schumacher, just quietly. But Alonso got 10th. We were going to be on soft tyres at the end. Maybe there was a point there for us after all, but yeah. Alonso had good pace. Look at that fastest lap of 39.6. Compared to our fastest lap, albeit on the mediums, but our fastest lap was not that, 1:41.7. So maybe I'm being a little bit ambitious there. Alonso clearly had a very quick car. We were picking them off one by one. We know we have a rocket in a straight line, It's just a bit of a shame that the rocket blew up, isn't it? If we look at the standings, those Schwartzman points are going to be huge for us. He is a chance of catching and passing Alonso in the championship now as well. He could move up into 12th. But if we look at the constructors, how do I get over there? There we go. That's now a 5-point gap, so thank you very much, Robert Schwartzman, for that. We are looking fairly good for 5th in the constructors, I would say, getting Singapore out of the way as well. So there we go. Let's look at Lance Stroll. Absolutely spanked me there, didn't he? Oh, Jesus, we're suddenly 3 behind. Anyway, if you've enjoyed that, make sure you hit thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new, of course. We'll be back next time. Well, I think Japan's next, isn't it? So that will hopefully be a better track for both myself personally and the car. And if we can finish it, we might finish in the points. You never know. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. We're just waiting for all these things to scroll through now. And yeah, let me know what you think as well for teammates for next year. I think Schwartzman's starting to do a good job, if I'm honest. So I think maybe we do look to keep him. But anyway, I'll see you next time in Japan. Take care.